It's my pleasure to be here tonight with you. I'm Mary Dixon. I'm the creative director of KUED Channel 7. A part of our commitment has always been to education, so I'm extremely happy to be here and help you honor and celebrate outstanding educators from across the state. Right. The Utah Teacher of the Year program is much more, though, than just this one evening. But tonight does give us the opportunity to think about and reflect for a moment on the vital importance of education and the singular roles that our teachers play. Teachers are probably, I don't have to tell you, the most significant aspect of any efforts at educational reform. And the Utah State Board of Education strives to lift up the teaching profession. As I mentioned, the Utah Teacher of the Year program is a lot more than just this one evening. And the teachers honored here tonight join a long list of such nominees and winners. So please help me welcome Superintendent David Styler from Millard County, or Millard School District. He's going to come share a story about one such winner who was honored at an evening just like this back in 1978 and has provided a lifetime of service. Superintendent Styler.
Ag Nilsson was and remains a legend in Millard County and beyond for his incredible skills and his dedication as a teacher of vocational agriculture. I could go on and on about the accomplishments of those who passed through his program. He is known for his totally unselfish concern for the students and the steps he would take both in and out of school to see them succeed. After serving in World War II and then farming for a time, he took over a struggling agriculture program at Millard High School in 1952. He visited the homes of the boys over the summer to encourage them to give the program a try. Many of those boys, like the hundreds that followed, became state leaders and achieved excellence and lifelong success through their interactions with Mr. Nilsson. 25 years into his career, he received this great honor. And 10 years after that, he retired from the Millard School District, having completed 35 years of incredibly successful interactions with young people and having received notoriety not only as the Utah Teacher of the Year, but as the State and Western Region Vocational Agriculture Teacher of the Year, as well as one of 6 recognized as the National VOAG Teacher of the Year. An incredible and celebrated career. This, however, is only the beginning of the story for this former Teacher of the Year. 3 years after his retirement, in 1987, he missed the opportunities and rewards of education, and he came back to work for the Millard School District. He was hired this time to work with the population at the county jail, as well as with our adult education program to assist people in completing their education. That was 1990. Now, 28 years later, and if I may say at age 92, Ag continues his service to the youth in this second career. Let me clarify for those of you who may feel confused. First, an incredible 35 years, and now beginning his 28th year in his second career with us, making in total 63 years working in the Millard School District to help see young people succeed. In this second career, he's been instrumental in seeing 274 individuals receive their diplomas through the Millard County Jail, and another 130 or so through his evening classes in adult education. Over 400 individuals who would all give a huge amount of credit to Ag Nilsson for their accomplishment. If ever there was an embodiment of what a Teacher of the Year could or ought to be, he stands before you in this good and humble man. To those of you being honored as Teachers of the Year from your institutions, I offer my heartfelt congratulations to each of you. It is an honor for the incredible efforts that you make on behalf of children. I encourage you to use this honor as a platform that promotes your profession and the wonderful things that our teachers do for children every day. But I also encourage you to use it as a launching pad for the remainder of your lives, to touch as many lives as you are able. As Mr. Nilsson has shown, this isn't the end, this is the beginning. Ag, thank you for your efforts and for those of your daughters that you could be here with us tonight. We know your good wife, Afton, your wife of 73 years next month. Afton is waiting for your return, just as she does every night you go to work at the jail or at the school for us. We thank you for your love of education. We thank you for your kindness to everyone. And we thank you for your never-ending devotion to young people, to help young people reach their potential, and we also thank you for allowing us to pay you this tribute this evening. Our first Teacher of the Year, 40 years ago, as we celebrate our newest Teacher of the Year tonight. Thank you so much.
So please welcome to the stage last year's winner, 2017 Utah Teacher of the Year, Valerie Gates.
You see, teachers on the whole don't generally believe that any one teacher is better than another. We learn together, we collaborate, we evaluate and give feedback to each other. We learn from our colleagues. We share research, we talk about our successes, and admit, sometimes tearfully, our failures. We listen to each other, we have each other's backs. We love our students. Whether you are a District Teacher of the Year, a state finalist, or chosen as the 2018 Teacher of the Year, you have been given a voice, a megaphone. Use it. Continue to be or become that teacher leader. You have people's ears more than you ever have this year. You've been given the opportunity to speak out for all children, for all educators. Find your places to advocate and your people who will advocate with you, and go for it. Send your message up to the rafters and out in every direction. We are all waiting to hear from you. So to each and every one of you, congratulations. You make us all so proud. To all the 2018 District Teachers of the Years, the state finalists, and to the 2018 Teacher of the Year, welcome to the fold. Thank you so much.
So please welcome to the stage the Chair of the Utah State Board of Education, Mark Huntsman. Okay, Mr. Huntsman, I feel like we should have a big drum roll. Are you ready to announce the winners? We're going to do this Oscar style.
So it's, we're pleased to provide a check. That would be
Check.
that one,
This one.
but not this one.
This one has the name.
Okay.
Do you want me to
All right.
rip it open?
Yeah, let's make sure that this name matches that name before we get to it. Pleased to provide a check for $3,000, this certificate, and this token of our esteem is our second runner-up, which is Jenny Atsedy of San
Jenny?
Juan School District. Please come up.
I'll let you do it. Okay, the first runner-up.
Let's double check the name.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, that's it. The first runner-up is Stephen Hendricks, Davis School District. Okay.
Okay, this is kind of a pretend drum roll.
And now I'm happy to present a check for $10,000 and the certificate and award to our 2018 Utah Teacher of the Year. Oh, that's not a very good one. Aaron, go ahead, you say it.
Aaron Burchell.
You went to school district.
Aaron!
Okay, this is it. Here's your award. Don't pass out.
The first question I want to ask is, how am I here? How did I get here? I was driving, and, well, I wasn't driving, my husband was driving, and usually the role of us is he drives and I promptly fall asleep. That's my job. And I couldn't because I kept thinking about you and what we do. And so I did write down a few things more to process, because teachers reflect, and I asked my students to reflect, and a lot of learning happens when you reflect. And I want to be a learner. So, how did I get here? I'm the product of a mother who made whole wheat bread, and read out loud to us every night. Books like Little House on the Prairie and Little Britches and The Great Brain and Black Beauty. I'm the product of a father who died when he was 28 years old of colon cancer. But I'm also the product of a man who married that widow with 3 kids to take us to a ranch in Jensen, Utah, where we were surrounded by aunts and uncles and cousins, with swimming in the canals and eating breakfast every morning while looking out at the beautiful Split Mountain. I'm the product of public libraries and books that carried me to faraway places where I met many people and characters. I'm the product of teachers like Mrs. Anderson, who took me out to McDonald's for an ice cream treat when I was in 2nd grade for saving all of my rewards points all year long. I would not submit to buying a pencil with my reward points. I'm the product of Mr. Ray, who walked with a limp, but he loved us. Of Mrs. Nelson, who discovered that we were all artists. Mrs. Heaney, who kept me lovingly accountable for not doing my homework for months. I'd rather read. I'm the product of science fairs. I can't believe how cool my parents were, because in 6th grade, I wanted to study the effects of music on behavior, so we bought rats. And we kept those rats in our house and played classical music and hard rock and roll music to them, and I observed their behaviors, and I made mazes with my dad of rats. My children don't have that cool of parents. I'm the product of a band teacher, Mr. Inca, who immigrated from Tonga, who could slam dunk a basketball even though he was shorter than most of us. I'm the product of my debate teacher, Mrs. Forsgren, who later became my mentor teacher, as she let me take her AP English class as a student teacher because she knew I loved poetry. And even later, she became my peer when I was hired to teach at my alma mater. Teachers like Mr. Hanson in performing choir, Mr. Dixon, the tough director at our high school musical Into the Woods, Mr. Browning in AP History, Miss Cowan in criminal law in Mock Court, Miss Baker, who still hasn't quite forgiven me for giving up on trig. And my dear Mrs. Hawken, the hardest teacher in school, who was my only English teacher in high school, who made me think that teaching was the direction that I should go. I'm the product of my piano teachers, Mrs. Tolley, my cousin Suzanne, and my Aunt Sylvia. I'm the product of my Uinta Basin, where one could drive 30 minutes in any direction and be an entirely different ecosystem to explore and hike. Right now, our economy is struggling, but the tenacity of our people are inspiring. I'm the product of stock shows and 4-H clubs and girls' camp and family potlucks on Sunday afternoons. I'm the product of Pell Grants and of working 3 jobs in Jackson Hole from 8 in the morning until 2 in the morning the next day. So many people invested their passion and knowledge and made me feel loved and capable, and they asked me to do more than I thought I could, just so I could discover that indeed I could. I'm the product of 6 siblings, my biggest rivalries. If I can explain, my brother's a Harvard Law graduate, so you can imagine what it was like growing up with him. And my biggest fans, my sister, like my sister who sent me a Harry Potter t-shirt just a few days before my kids took the AP English exam. I'm the product of good friends, like Anna Weston, who discussed literature and history and art and raising kids on the phone while we mopped the floors. And my friend Stacy Brakefield, who keeps me walking and talking to help me process life. My biggest support and safe place to land on the days when teaching is ripping me apart is my husband, the wildlife biologist, who keeps track of how many yellow versus green zucchini is produced in our garden, who reads over 70 books a year, whose calm and steady approach to life is the complement to my passionate and expressive approach. I'm the product of my products, my 4 children who provided the most enriching, challenging, hands-on learning of life. Brianna, Ashlyn, Alina, and Caleb make me a better mother and a better teacher every day. The support of my students, my administration, my PLC peers, my fellow teachers, my Utah Teachers Association is humbling. As I look back, I have to say I'm excited for the future. It is an honor to be a teacher, even before this honor. There is the honor of associating with kids who enrich my life and understanding the human experience. Kids who break my heart with human tragedies and poor choices and poor luck. I'm a product of those kids too. Knowledge is powerful, and knowledge is shared with the rest of the next generation, who then takes that knowledge to then create more knowledge. I humbly request that I not be a martyr to exemplify what a good teacher is. We all go above and beyond, but we also need to have the energy to go home and give our full selves to causes that give us energy, that we invest back into our students and schools and our fellow teachers. I want future teachers to know that one does not have to sell his or her soul to the calling of a career educator in order to be good enough. Collectively, we are an incredible force for good. I want to hear your stories, and I want you to know that I'm grateful for each of you and the miracles you're doing each day. I need good teachers everywhere. So how did we get here? Whatever it is, let's keep doing it. Let's work together with our circles of influence to make this world a better place. My students know that my classroom themes are grit, gratitude, and a growth mindset. So let's use our grit to grow our gratitude for this crazy job we love. Thank you. We'll have to get the $10,000.